There are certain artists I've always wanted to cover on this channel. Artists whose impact on music goes deeper than headlines, deeper than charts. Artists who really understand the craft. And one of those artists, for me, was Dot Rotten. For a long time, I told myself I'd make this video one day, but not yet. I thought, let the channel grow first. Let the platform get bigger. Then maybe I could reach out to him directly, have a real conversation, ask him about the production, the clashes, the music theory behind those beats. Because Dot wasn't just another grime MC. He was one of the most technically gifted minds the scene ever produced. But yesterday, news broke that Dot Rotten, also known as Zeph Ellis, passed away at the age of 37. And it forced me to realize something simple, but uncomfortable. Time isn't guaranteed. Sometimes we wait for the right moment to tell someone how much their work meant to the culture. Sometimes we think there will always be another chance, but life doesn't always work like that. So this video isn't just a breakdown of Dot Rotten's contributions to grime music. It's also a moment to recognize a mind that helped shape the sound of the genre, a producer, a lyricist, and one of the most fascinating technicians the UK scene ever produced. This is the story of Dot Rotten. When people talk about the history of grime, a few names always come up. Wiley, Dizzy Rascal, Skepta, Stormzy. Those artists helped take grime from pirate radio towers in East London to global stages. But every genre has figures who shape the sound without always getting the same spotlight. And in grime, one of those figures was Dot Rotten, a rapper, a producer, a musical technician, and one of the most complex minds the scene ever produced. The grime community lost him at just 37 years old. To understand why that loss hit so hard, you have to understand what Dot Rotten actually was. Because he wasn't just another MC in the Clash era. He was something much rarer. He was a musical architect. The teenage prodigy Dot Rotten. Born Zeph Ellis Stevenson in South London, entered grime when the genre itself was still forming. Early 2000s, London was a strange laboratory for music. You had teenagers making beats on cracked versions of Fruity Loops, pirate radio stations broadcasting from tower blocks, and crews of MCs battling for reputation. Out of that chaos came grime. Artists like Wiley were building the blueprint, experimenting with icy synths and aggressive drum patterns. But while most MCs focused on bars, Dot Rotten was doing something different. He was building the beats too. That dual skill set is extremely rare. In grime, most artists are either MCs or producers. Dot was both, and at a high level. By his teenage years, he was already gaining respect in underground circles as a serious talent. But the real turning point came with something producers still talk about today: the Rotten Riddims. If you want to understand Dot Rotten's influence, you have to understand the Rotten Riddims series. These instrumentals were dark, militant, almost cinematic. Grime beats are usually built on aggressive simplicity, sharp drums, heavy bass, icy synths, but Dot's productions often sounded bigger. Layered melodies, atmospheric textures, unexpected transitions. It felt less like someone making a beat and more like someone scoring a film. That's where another name starts appearing. Because when Dot focused on production, he often worked under the alias Zeph Ellis. Under that name, he became one of the most technically skilled producers in the UK underground. Artists across the scene used his instrumentals, and producers studied them. But Dot wasn't just sitting behind a laptop. He was also stepping into Grime's most dangerous arena, the clash. Grime culture is built on lyrical combat. Your reputation comes from bars, from punchlines, from the ability to dismantle another MC in front of an audience. And Dot Rotten had the kind of pen that could do real damage. His style was dense, intricate rhyme patterns, layered wordplay, sometimes aggressive, sometimes philosophical. He rapped like someone who studied music theory and battle rap at the same time. That combination made him a difficult opponent. And over the years, he found himself in some of Grime's most talked about clashes, including confrontations with artists like Stormzy, Sneakbo, and P-Money. Those clashes kept his name circulating through the culture. But they also highlighted something interesting about Grime itself. Because scenes often celebrate personalities more than technicians. And Dot Rotten was a technician.
I'm after a meal, I don't mean a big plate with food for a fat kid. I've been out of the game, but who's still established? I'm introducing a madness. Fuck them crews that I used to collab with. Someone take a pic of my middle finger and at them dons without using a caption. There's no future attachments. I'ma send shot after shot like I'm shooting a Gatling. Dress yourself in a suit, don't try to pursue beef with me as you're doomed for clashing. Burn your troops to the ashes. I'ma give them an after shot like Bruiser and Brad did. We were in the same boat, smooth sailing. I left it sank cause you're useless as captain. About crew of assassins. Stop with the gas and fist, I'll put 2 in the chaplets. I strike man like I'm using a matchstick. They try to block me out. Put dudes in a blacklist. Step back, I refused and adapted. They want arms, I'ma give them more than they need like a mutant arachnid. I turn mute when I grab sticks, pull up a man like feds due to a group full of black kids. Bear man try and move to my girl, but I flew through like Aladdin. Scoop me a Jasmine, I can see stress in their faces. Hating, I love that human reaction. Here's the truth to the masses. Most of these rappers ain't shit without the use of an ad-lib. I feel disrespected for abusing my practice. I make them snooze like a mattress.
There's an interesting pattern in music history. Some artists approach music emotionally. Others approach it structurally. They think about sound design, arrangement, harmonic layers. Those artists tend to become producers, composers, or sonic innovators. Dot Rotten was one of those minds. You could hear it in the way he spoke about music. He wasn't just talking about bars. He was talking about composition, about how beats evolve, about how sound textures shape emotion. Under the Zeph Ellis name, he continued producing and refining that craft, and the influence of those productions quietly spread through the Grime ecosystem.
Dot Rotten,
What?
Black Magic TV.
Black Magic TV, fam.
You done know, cuz.
Hey, basically right now, yeah, man's just sitting down in the yard, making a beat. I don't like it, but I likes it. I made this one earlier. Here's one I made earlier. You know, like them old school Art Attack ones. Like, I'll call this black.
He was about to throw the beat away, and I'm saying loop it. The beat's banging.
I don't like these. I don't put 100% into making beats no more. I haven't been in my producer environment for time, like my own one. So when I make beats, it's just annoying, bruv, because I'm not doing my 100%. You know what I mean? There, fam. It's like I'm going half-hearted. All the bare beats I made, it's like I'm going half-hearted.
But they're banging though. I've heard them.
Yeah,
you're saying they're
like
half-hearted.
For me, it's
nah,
not. It's
yeah,
not
you're saying they're
really
half-hearted because you heard them, innit?
It's not because I made them and I know what I did when I made them. They weren't full ability. I was slacking.
Yeah.
But boom, soon anyway. Soon, man don't listen to producers in the scene. Man listens to like old school tunes and tunes, 80s, 60s tunes. That's the type of producers I listen to. That's why I don't even run. That's why I used to run around saying I'm the best producer, but all I meant is at the time I was doing the most. But I'm not the best producer. There's certain things that I don't know, so I have to become a producer, innit? It's like learning how
That's
to ride
right.
a bike or learning how to ride a pedal. You have to take time, innit? Or like Ross Clark breaking 1,000 pieces, like not even 1,000, breaking 15 pieces of wood with your hand. You have to master the craft, you know what I there, fam.
That's real
True
talk,
talk.
cuz.
So all of this is.
Well, so show them what you made earlier, cuz I was there. You made it in like what, 10 minutes? You get me, bruv? On a quick one. Turn it up for them, man. Let them hear that. Black Magic TV exclusive shit. Dot Rotten, Black the Ripper. You might as well kick a bar for them, fam. You might as well show them something, cuz. Little 16.
Fucking no.
Over the fresh beat, no one ain't heard this.
Oh,
No one ain't heard this shit.
Stepped on a booth with an empty page, freestyling, trying to empty rage. I never saw life the way I look at it now, ever since I hit to 20 gauge. When it comes to road, I seen plenty gauges and picked up the mic on plenty stages. Till I speak the truth, uplift, teach the youth so they can reach the roots. Heard them violent tunes on road, most them guys are silent goons, they're stunting to you. They say a man with something to prove, has something to lose. That's why I stay righteous, don't need a pen or a pad when I step where the mic is. We'll talk the bit, told you how my life is, ups and downs, life ain't how I like it. Shit.
Here's the strange part of cultural history. The people who shape a genre are not always the ones the public remembers first. Sometimes the innovators become cult legends rather than mainstream icons. Hip-hop has examples like MF Doom, or producers like Large Professor, artists revered by musicians, even if the mainstream audience only partially understood their impact. In Grime, Dot Rotten fits into that lineage, an artist whose technical influence outweighed his commercial recognition. And yet, if you study the scene closely, his fingerprints are everywhere. In production styles, in lyrical approaches, in the idea that an MC could also be a serious composer of sound. News broke that Dot Rotten passed away at 37 years old, reportedly in Gambia. The cause of death hasn't been widely confirmed yet, but the reaction across the grime community has been immediate. Tributes from artists, messages from fans, producers revisiting old instrumentals. Because when someone like Dot Rotten leaves this world, people start revisiting the work. They start realizing how much was actually there. The strange thing about art is that it doesn't disappear with the artist. It keeps echoing. Every beat that gets sampled, every producer inspired by those Rotten Riddims, every MC studying the structure of those bars. Grime is now a global genre. What started in London estates and pirate radio studios has reached audiences around the world. But that evolution didn't happen by accident. It happened because of countless artists pushing the sound forward, experimenting, building, challenging the limits of what grime could be. Dot Rotten was one of those builders, a producer with cinematic instincts, an MC with battle-ready lyricism, and a musical thinker whose ideas stretched beyond the moment. In other words, the kind of artist every genre needs, even if the spotlight doesn't always shine as brightly as it should.